tired of feeling the way you feel, and maybe you're even feeling triggered. Maybe something has come up, and maybe even this video is triggering you just by watching this first 3 seconds. So in this video, I'm going to go over how to help not identify so much with your feelings so you can get more control over them, and also how to let the trigger be the guide. That way you can truly identify what about this is bothering me about the situation or person, place, or thing. Let's get it. The number one thing to understand is that your feelings are your vibratorial state. They're your vibration. And what you're vibrating is what you're going to attract, no matter what it is. It's just what's in your energetic magnetic bubble. And the thing about your feelings is a lot of the times we identify with our feelings rather than realizing we are the spiritual eternal being that has control over how we choose to feel. And how we do this is because a lot of the times is when you start to feel sad, you start to identify yourself with feeling sad. Means you start saying, I am sad. No, you are not sad. I feel sad. Not I am sad. We're always going out to people like, hey, I'm depressed. I'm sad. No. I feel depressed. I feel sad. So you want to change the wording. I feel this. And when you start saying, I feel this, it also opens the doorway to allow yourself to feel those feelings, feel what needs to be felt, to be released. So a lot of times those feelings that may have been suppressed in the past, and a lot of people don't want to look at them. That's why they have tons of problems down the road, never really being happy, is because you're not allowing yourself to feel them. You're just suppressing and shoving them in. And it's the most releasing thing when you actually sit with your feeling for however long it takes for it to release. There is a certain point where you don't get addicted to it though, and you're sitting with that pain for 2-3 weeks. It's like, all right, now it's time to actually start letting it go, right? Because we can get addicted to that as well. So it's important to identify when you're identifying with your feeling, like I am this feeling, I am depressed, I am sad, and 3 weeks has gone by. It's like, no, you're not sad, because that's the power of I am, and you are not that feeling. That feeling is just something that is a part of you that wants to be felt and heard. We're going to go into triggers now. Triggers are the ultimate guide because they open up that area of like a suppression that we have within us. Normally when something comes up as a trigger in your life, and I used to feel triggered a lot. I'll give you an ultimate example. I'm wearing a onesie, right? It's right now it's November 3rd as I'm filming this. And it's going to get posted way later because I'm 14 days of videos ahead. And right, it's a onesie, kids thing, whatever. When I first started like having more freedom in my life and I stopped working at a corporate job that paid me a lot of money, and I thought I had to be this like professional in life and be this manager boss type person, wearing shiny nice watches and whatever. Like either way, my point is I started getting into EDM, and I love music, and that's what ended up opening the pathway for me to produce EDM music. And part of it was when I started meeting people in that community or going to shows, they were wearing onesies and stuff. And I had judgment over that. I'm like, that's such a childish thing. Like, what do these people even do? Are they even like growing up? Like, and some of them, because back then when I first started, I was like 21, 22. And some of the friends I was making, they had nothing. Like, they didn't have any jobs or anything like that was holding that. But I used to also think that that's what gave someone like value. It's like, what's your job and how much are you making? And because I grew up in a different way, but this opened up my mind, so I was triggered by this and I was kind of repelled until one day I was kind of cold and I put one of these things on and I kind of resisted it too. And then as soon as I put it on, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like it was like a cheetah print one, and like I felt like a cat, and I was like, it was so warm, and I just fell in love with it. Right. And I love cats. So it was just like, it awoke and sparked something within me. And the thing was, as I was realizing what that trigger was showing me and why I felt all that resistance, it was because I actually wanted to wear one. I wanted that level of freedom that I wasn't getting. And by stepping through that and then trying something out, it allowed me to release judgment, and it allowed the trigger to go away. And now there was a whole nother game of shame popping up. Was like, now I'm wearing it. Now what are people going to think? Right now it's another layer of the healing. Now I'm not here, I may be talking about like a lot of energy, law of attraction, spirituality, transformation, mindsets, all sorts of these things. And I too go through this stuff. And I'm sharing through my experience what I've learned and how I've overcome things so that way you can too. I'm not some guru on top of a mountain. And I also went down this route where I wanted to be a divine feminine empowerment coach and spiritual awakening coach. Yeah, I'm still those things, except I don't find that those labels apply to me anymore. So I pivoted and I shifted. And some of my older videos, not that long ago, you'll see me saying, hey, it's Ventzi, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. It's like, no, I really am just a transformative mindset coach, helping you lean into self-mastery. Yes, I can help you through spiritual awakenings and understanding divine feminine empowerment, energy, which is creativity, versus like divine masculine energy. And I tend to live in my creativity a lot, especially after starting to wear onesies like this, right? So my point is let the trigger be the guide. There was another time I was watching another spiritual awakening, like person talking about law of attraction on YouTube, and I resonate with her stuff. And she does speak about stuff, and I feel good watching her stuff, and it helps me come to my own realizations. The first like 2 videos I was watching, I'm like wondering, how does she have like 500K subscribers? How does, like I just felt triggered. I was like, why is this triggering me? I was like kind of angry at it. And then I realized, oh, it's because she's willing to show up so freely in her videos. She's like speaking light language and stuff, which I have the ability to do, and I've had it for a long time. And I don't really feel so called to speak it. Sometimes I do. And I was looking into this, and like people calling her like crazy or stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, I totally get it. Like you can feel the vibration coming out of this person intuitively, like the energy that they feel as they're speaking, whatever words comes to their mouth, and whatever energy they're channeling and sharing. I could feel it. I could literally, I'm having goosebumps. My body's reacting to it. So there's something there, right? And I was triggered by her. I didn't want to follow her or anything. I felt triggered, and then I realized, oh, like, and I knew what to look for. And I said, what about this situation is making me feel repelled? What is polarizing me? And then I realized very quickly, because I'm been on the self-help journey, self-improvement, and I realized very quickly that it's the fact that she speaks so freely and doesn't fear other people's opinions. And I want that. That's what was triggering me. And then as soon as I came to that acceptance, I followed her and I enjoy her content. So the point is to look within. This video may have triggered you in the beginning. You may have felt a certain way. So it's important to understand when you feel a certain way, don't identify with that feeling, because if you want control over your life, you got to have control over your emotions and especially your triggers. And it's your sacred responsibility, your ability to respond in a way which you prefer, not react to your emotions or your triggers in life. Be able to stay in a feeling and positivity and knowing anything's going to benefit you no matter what, and a high vibration of unconditional love in order to receive the positive benefit in whatever's showing up. And as long as I know if something's triggering me, I can look within and find out what the heck about this is bothering me. I'm getting the positive benefits. I'm already on the fast track to letting it go and letting it guide me to my solution. Okay? So look within on what this is always showing you. Sometimes triggers can also be like you're suppressing words and things you want to express to someone, your feelings and your emotions, and you're not being vulnerable with them. Sometimes you can feel triggered, especially when you have so much resentment building on towards someone that you haven't set boundaries with or have been vulnerable with and allowed the opportunity for growth. Also, if you've watched my previous videos where I kind of got in this like vulnerable, intentional conversation with my mom, because I shared with her how I've been feeling with some of her behaviors and actions and how I felt, right? By the way, we talked today and everything turned out really well. I shared her also that story I had with one of my employees when I was a fitness manager, personal training director, and I let her know like how it was an opportunity for me to grow when somebody shared to me how they felt, because I was really good at sales. I had the best numbers in the district, but I didn't really know how to manage people. I was 18 years old. I had one of my trainers come to me and tell me, like, you're a bad manager. I'm tired of you calling me bud. It was very demeaning. And I felt like it was an attack on me because I'm like, that's not true, dude. I have the best numbers in our district and I'm the one filling up your books. Right? Yeah, I mean, you're not selling anybody. So it's like, I'm doing it for you. You get a paycheck that's getting bigger because of me, is what I was thinking back then. Right? And then I started crying in front of this person because I felt like it was an attack on me. It was an attack on my ability to sell and have good numbers and make a big paycheck. It was my ability to connect with people, my ability to be a kind and generous leader, leading from love. And I shifted though after that. I took it. I stopped calling him bud. I was way more chilled out, and things shifted. Right. In the same way I told my mom how some of the stuff she had done has made me feel, and I created the opportunity for growth. I opened the door for healing. Because after that, she felt like she was a bad person, is what she told me, and she started crying. And I'm like, no, you're not a bad person. And this is why I'm telling you this, because I love you. Because I want you to have the opportunity to grow. And I'm tired of suppressing this. I know it's a little out of nowhere, except I felt like I needed to share this with you. And I'm only going to do it once, because after that, it's your responsibility. You only have to share things with people once. Then you make a decision whether they're going to stick around in your life or not. And I love my mom. And I wanted her to know how I've been feeling. So I let her know, and I feel so much release. And today we talked though, and she was very sweet and nice. And I told her that story about the trainer situation, and she understood it. And actually, she's like, oh, I actually remember you telling me about that. And yeah, and at the time I was more mad at him. I actually told that trainer, I'm like, this could be your last day. Like ready to fire him. My memberships manager had to like come in because I was like crying and I couldn't talk anymore. Like, he had to step in. And it wasn't that, like, he didn't get fired, and like, that was not the solution, right? So, but she did remember that, and back then I was more like hard-headed about it. Except, when I grew up, I realized, and as I took the opportunity to grow, that it was more to it than him. He was expressing how he felt and that he wanted to change. It was a way he set a boundary. It wasn't in the best way possible. Right, because when you set boundaries, it's I feel this when you do this, and this is what I want you to do, and make that shift and change so I don't have to feel this anymore from you. Right, you got to put the responsibility on them. So if you want to know the outcome of what had happened, I know I shared like an hour-long video, and I hope I posted it because it was very vulnerable for me, and it was very raw and intense emotion, because I'm just like all of you. I go through this too. I just have adapted towards the methods, and I put them into practice, and I consistently reprogram my mind to have better outcomes when situations come to me. It's not like I'm trying to run away from my pain or my feelings. If I do that, I know it never turns out well, and I have to feel what I'm feeling, and it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Allow it to be there, accept your feelings, and then start making adjustments through it. But don't identify with those feelings. So I hope this video helps you. Please like and subscribe. It helps the content get out for people that really need this message and opportunities to grow. So have an alchemizing day. Namaste.